You are listening to hour number 2 today of Blue Collar Sports. We appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been a great show so far today. Talked a lot of hoops in the first hour. We had a special guest, Ryan Secret, on here this morning, or this afternoon rather. It's 3 o'clock, so I can't say that. But it was a great show so far. We appreciate Ryan stopping by, talked lots of hoops, great stuff there. But we're going to change gears now. You're listening to Blue Collar Sports. I'm your co-host, Seth Newville, joined here with co-host Trevor Brenlin. We are every Tuesday, Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. In the afternoon. This is our 101st show. We are past the triple-digit milestone, but we are only going for more. It's been a great ride so far, and let's keep it going.
Yeah, it's been a great show so far. Number 101. Talked a lot of hoops, NBA with Ryan. Great having him on. He'll be back, and if you want to be on the show, just reach out to us on Twitter or Instagram, Blue Collar Sports, and we'll contact you, and we'll get you on somehow, some way. But now it's time to shift gears and talk some more professional sports.
Yeah, let's start in the NFL. Some big news here. Obviously, we're getting closer and closer to draft time. Kyler Murray, of course, making his decision. But one thing I want to talk a little bit more on, because we didn't touch on a whole lot, is right before our 100th show. But before we get into more details, I wanted to ask you about the Joe Flacco trade again, and what to make of this trade, because I think it's. Is Denver going for? Do you think this is a team that's going for a Super Bowl, or what does this trade mean for them?
I think they do believe they are good enough defensively, and if they have a player like Joe Flacco who's won it before, they believe they can possibly win something and get to the playoffs. And I think they have a talented team where they can do that. But it's a short-term solution, like I said. It's not going to be their long-term. They still need a guy underneath him, and I do think their talented team is going to be nice for them. It's a little bit of an upgrade, but not a huge upgrade. And they're going to fight for the playoffs. And I think they are good enough on defense. And if they can find a little bit more pieces on offense, they could possibly make a run.
It'll be interesting to see. AFC's fairly open. Their division is tough, though. They got the Chiefs and the Chargers right in there in their own division. Raiders, of course, kind of falling apart. But it's going to be interesting to see how that. I just want to get your thought on that real quick. And one more thing. I wanted to ask you about Kyler Murray. Said he's deciding whether or not to throw the NFL Combine. If you're a big-time quarterback prospect, do you think it's a good idea to not throw at the Combine, or would you take the opportunity and chance you get, and would you throw at the Combine?
I would take my chance to throw at the Combine, see how you stack up against all the other top quarterbacks in the class. I know most of, or not most, but a lot of them, they just do the drills themselves, the workouts, and then they'll throw at their pro day. We saw a couple players last year do that, but you know, if I was doing it, I just would want to go up against the best of the quarterbacks there at the Combine, prove myself that I'm just as good as them or even better. And I think he should participate in all the drills and all the quarterback festivities.
Yeah, I think he would throw. I mean, if I'm a competitor, anytime you're going up against guys that really you're competing against where your future is going to be, especially for Kyler Murray, he's projected to be top 1 or 2 pick right now, but he's still got to earn that. He's not a very big guy. He's a small guy. He's gonna have to earn it by showing his arm strength. I think the Combine's a great place to do that.
Yeah, and I think he could definitely show himself out there. And if he has a huge killer pro day, it's gonna put him up there. And I already think he's gonna be a top 10, possibly even top 5 if he shows out and has a great day. He could be the first quarterback taken.
He very well could be. It's gonna be interesting to see. But lots going around in the NFL and AAFL. What's some news you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, let's talk about Antonio Brown. Big news from him coming out of the Steelers. Antonio Brown's been all over social media, it seems like. I'm getting annoyed by him. I don't want him on my team if I was trying to get him. But he's posting that he had great meetings with the Steelers, and they worked out everything, but he does want to get out of Pittsburgh. He's already saying it's his time is done there. He's ready to move on, and you know, Pittsburgh hasn't even done anything with him yet, so I don't know why he's saying things like this. It's just going to hurt his value in a trade, because now teams know that Pittsburgh is just going to get rid of him for the best deal. They're not actually looking for a way out. They know that he just doesn't want to be there. So everyone's going to be able to pitch in and make a deal for him now. And so I think it definitely hurts his value. So unfortunately for Antonio and the Steelers, it's not the best ideal situation. And if I'm Pittsburgh, honestly, if I don't see a deal I like, I'm going to keep him there as long as I can, possibly have him in the season and trade him during the season to a contender that is going to overpay for him. that won't do that right now in the offseason.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think we're kind of starting to experience it because, obviously this is a different era than we've ever seen before with the power players in every sport. You could look at the way LeBron's always on social media, but the way that the power these athletes have now at their hands with just a device. And I truly think he's starting to push GMs away because of the way he's using his social media. It all started when he first announced, when he said, "Thank you, Steeler Nation," and everything. That was really weird to me because that was before they even announced that there was for sure going to be a trade.
Right.
And so it's the way he's kind of handled everything is really weird to me. It's the most typical Steelers thing in the world. We all know they compare themselves to the Kardashians, and it continues here. But if I'm a GM, obviously you can't look past the talent of Antonio Brown. He's probably top 3 receiver in the game, top 5 I think for sure. You could put him anywhere from 1 to 5.
Right.
But I really worry about giving up. I don't think I'd give up a first round pick for him.
Yeah, it's tough. If I'm a team, I've heard teams like the Patriots go after Odell. I possibly would go give him a first rounder.
Yeah.
The Cowboys did that for Amari Cooper, so I could definitely see a team go after Antonio and give up a first round. But I think the Steelers are going to be looking for even more than that because they believe Antonio is the best receiver and better than Cooper. But the Steelers drafted Antonio in the 6th round. They got much more value out of him than they ever thought they would, and it never worked out. So they need to get rid of him now, get the best trade they can, and move on from him and the Le'Veon Bell situation and start kind of rebuilding. But you're still a contender because they're always going to be in there. They're always going to hang in. They're not going to be a poor team. But get rid of both of them somehow, get assets, and keep rebuilding under Big Ben right now.
Yeah, they got a very, very interesting offseason. We're going to have more on Le'Veon Bell next segment as well. We got 2 NFL segments coming up for you as well. So it's going to be a great rest of the show, but it's definitely something to keep your eye on.
Yeah, so that's the big news for the NFL offseason right now as we get closer to NFL Combine and the draft. Of course, we'll have complete coverage of that. But that's the NFL. Let's move over to another league that I've been kind of looking at is the AAF, Alliance of American Football. We talked about it last week after the first weekend, and now it's week 2. In the Eastern Conference, we have Birmingham Iron and the Orlando Apollos tied at 2-0 for the lead. And in the West, we only see one 2-0 team, the Arizona Hotshots. So my championship predictions in the Iron and the Hotshots are still alive. Both teams are 2-0. And we actually saw some good play this second weekend. And so I was actually pretty impressed. I think this league is going to last like I talked about a week or 2 ago. And it's really panning out, and I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know we saw the backwards pass.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that quarterback's name, but Mahomes tweeted out about it. And so it's really interesting how quickly they took the scene. I had heard of the XFL going in, but I did not really know much about this AAF league at all. And boom, all of a sudden it's here, and it's pretty remarkable. And I know one of the teams got, I believe it was the Salt Lake team. They got bought out as an affiliate. For I think the Green Bay Packers
might have been,
is what I saw, and that we talked about that on the show, how that I think should be the direction of this league, and they should use it as if it's a G League for the NBA.
Yeah,
and I think that's a good direction for it. But my biggest thing is I can't get into another football league. I would personally like to see it at the same time. I know it would hurt its coverage, but the same time as NFL season, kind of like the same thing with the G League.
You got college football.
But you got college basketball. I want to see it like the exact same thing as the G League with the NBA. I want to see this with the NFL because I don't watch the G League, but it serves its purpose. It does what it's. Look at Chris Middleton. Hats off to Chris Middleton, by the way. He's an All-Star this year and played in the G League. First time anyone's ever done that. But I think this league could serve that purpose. Springtime though, the sun starts coming out. The weather gets nice.
Do you see the sun out right now? It's snowing. There's flurries coming out. We want football still. All your football fans, they want to see football right now, and this gives them a little taste into the summer. And once those big time spring sports comes alive, and we get back into it. But I really like what we're seeing. I think it's going to last. You talk about how quickly of a scene they came on. They got actually too quick where they could have paid their players, so they had to quickly figure out a way. But I think it's all situated. They got their paychecks from week 1, and they're all good now. So. Yeah, they went up real fast and it got exposed. They got TV deals, so I really like what they're doing. I think they're heading in a great direction.
I was impressed with your early on prediction too. You were spot on. I saw Birmingham. Is playing well. I believe. Did you pick them? I believe you picked them to win it.
I had Birmingham Iron winning it all over Arizona Hotshots, and they're both in the lead of their divisions at 2-0. And so I think both of those teams are good. So all these teams, they get their players from their area. What college they went to signifies where team they are situated at. So obviously in Alabama, you're going to have a lot of great players, and that's why I think the Iron has a lot of good Alabama talent, Auburn talent, Georgia talent, so that really fits them well. In Arizona, there's a lot of good Arizona football players, and plus you get some of the California, so does San Diego. So both of those teams, I think, they're definitely my prediction to go all the way, and they are proving it right now.
Are you a fan of the jersey combinations?
Some of them are actually pretty cool. The Iron's pretty much plain all black. I really like the Hot Shots, the yellow, green, and red. The Apollos is kind of cool logo. They do have, like the NBA, sponsorships on their jerseys, which it's not too big, but for a league like this, I like the idea. You're bringing money in. For a league like this, you need as much revenue as you can get, and so I think it's a really good deal. Obviously, I would like it to be Nike or a bigger sponsor making these equipment, but I think that the colors aren't too bad, and it brings a fun atmosphere to watch on TV.
Yeah, and they do have some. I saw some of the names. I saw Christian Hattenberg was playing.
Yeah, he's on the team.
In the which is I was a Jets guy, so it's interesting to see that name. He was kind of in the mix with the Jets for a while. So there's definitely some notable names. It's still hard for me to get into another football league at this time of the year. I want to be watching golf tournaments before we get to NBA. I want to be gearing up for baseball season. That's what I'm ready for.
Yeah, that's coming around the corner. We're still trying to get off the NFL in the post-Super Bowl. So the AFF is here. If you are into that, make sure to tune in. It's on Saturdays and Sundays on CBS, TNT, and NFL Network. It's great stuff there. But next segment, we're going to talk about more of the NFL and the top free agents in every position, where they're likely to sign. We talked about Antonio Brown, that he wants out. What are some possible destinations you see would be the best fit for him if he was traded?
Yeah, we talked about a little bit, and I know San Fran's up there. I'm not a big believer in Jimmy Garoppolo in San Fran. I know we have different opinions on that as well. So I don't know if I like that fit. And man, I do like the idea, and it's going to sound weird because I don't think the Steelers, I talked about it when I made my prediction, I do like the idea of the Patriots. We've seen them make moves like this. I know they're going after Odell and that whole situation. I don't think the Steelers would ever make a move with the Patriots, though, just because of that rivalry. But I think you could look at the Colts as a team that makes sense. I think if I were them, I'd go after a running back, though. I'd go over a guy like Le'Veon instead and go get a guy like that. But outside that, I'm not a big believer in receivers. I know we both kind of agree that you don't need huge marquee. I mean, look at the teams that are in the Super Bowl year now. They don't have big marquee names. I think Chicago would be a cool place. A team that's up and coming, a team that's proven that they could go out and make a move, and they need more explosive weapons. So I think that could be a good fit. But I think it's going to be interesting because I don't know if a lot of people are going to be buyers on Antonio Brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be a weird market for him for sure. A team like Houston, I could see possibly trying to make a move.
I could
pair him up with DeAndre Hopkins.
They cut Thomas.
Still have Will Fuller, so that'd be something. A team like Arizona really needs help on the outside. I know they got Larry Fitzgerald, but they're not going to be able to give up their first-round pick. They need as much young talent as they can get. But I still think it's San Francisco. They're not going to give up their first-round pick, though. They're going to have to settle with some seconds and third rounds for Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh because they got a high pick. They can't give that up for Antonio Brown. It's way too much. But I think those teams are some teams to kind of throw out there. And Antonio Brown talks about he wants to play for a contender. So does Le'Veon Bell. But they were on contending team in Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty tired of the mess with Antonio and Le'Veon. I just want Pittsburgh to be done with it and move on from both of them.
Yeah, I think it's better for the football world to get past this whole Steelers situation. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that coming up with some big free agency news. So stay tuned. You've been listening to Blue Collar Sports. Been a great show so far. Stay tuned. We still got 2 more great segments with you.